the second part of our Inventive IT series, I'm speaking with Ludwig Doe on ITMMNA. Ludwig, welcome.
Thank you.
So Ludwig, mergers and acquisitions are quite familiar to me. ITMMNA is a newer concept. What is ITMMNA?
Yeah, ITMMNA is actually about the IT aspects of mergers and acquisitions. Mm-hmm. And within Capgemini, we identify three categories. Mm-hmm. The first is actually IT due diligence, which is looking at what is actually happening in a company in terms of IT, for example, infrastructure, operations, etc. Mm-hmm. And we try to identify the red flags there which might hold the company from buying the target. So that's IT due diligence. Then next to that, we have IT integration. And IT integration is actually about realizing those synergies. So making a plan, making sure that it's going to work and that the company which you have been buying as a mother company will be integrated successfully. And the third category is IT separation, in which we look at all IT aspects related to separating a piece of business from a larger company. So that's really about preparing something to sell something, and then after that, the due diligence starts again.
So due diligence is either at the very beginning or at the very end to understand the current state of the organization and basically the dimensions that you need to take into account for a possible M&A. And then we have the integration, where companies are integrated together, and the separation. What are the motives for organizations to go into a merger or an acquisition?
Yeah, that can be really different. So it can be about growth, growing the turnover. Mm-hmm. It can be about compliance, but it can also be about acquiring new capabilities. For example, what we see a lot, and that's really a trend, is that more and more companies are trying to acquire digital capabilities. Mm-hmm. So they would like to add, for example, to their existing business, really digital aspects. One of my clients is a company which is in a traditional business of selling materials for agricultural sector. Mm-hmm. And they acquired a target which was really about the digital part of the agricultural sector. So the iPad in the tractor.
Right.
And bringing this together creates much more value for both companies. So that's a typical trend we currently see.
Okay. So value creation, acquiring new skills and capabilities. Yeah. Are there any more motives? I can imagine there are.
Yeah, sometimes what we also see is compliance. Mm-hmm. So I've been assisting a company which was a utility company which had to split their business into a grid company and a retail company. Mm-hmm. I've also been involved in a banking company where we had to split the insurance activities and the banking activities due to regulations from the European Union. Mm-hmm. So these kinds of projects we also see quite some time coming along.
All right, understood. A merger or an acquisition is by no means a small endeavor, and hence stakeholders need to be involved. Who are the key stakeholders in an IT M&A?
Yeah, what I typically see in an IT M&A is that we have, of course, the CEO and the CFO who needs to finance the whole thing, and sometimes supported by an IT M&A department. And next to that, what I also see as an important stakeholder is the CIO. Mm-hmm. And my advice is to be as early as possible in the project. So be there with the due diligence as a CIO, because then you have the opportunity to identify red flags like ERP systems which do not match your current architecture, or legacy systems, or high costs, or maybe an underinvestment in IT. These things require the expertise of the CIO. And that's also applicable to the digital aspects there. The CIO is expert in digital, in my vision, and so he should be on the table.
So involve the CIO at an early stage to make an IT M&A successful. And in terms of the three types of IT M&A, what are the attention points there?
Yeah, for due diligence, typical attention points are both on the side of synergies. So where can we create additional value? And on the other side, also on red flags, we call that.
Yeah.
Like a project which costs 50 million, which is not running well and might cost 100 million. So that can have significant impact on the price of the merger. So that's an attention point in the due diligence. Then we move to integration. In integration, I think it's really the focus on synergies. Synergies on the short term, so what can we realize tomorrow, and synergies on the long term. And you should develop a plan in which you solidly create a path to realizing these synergies. And then finally, the last one, in the separation. In separation, it's really important to focus on, again, the red flags. You might acquire them from the due diligence. For the third one, separation, it's really important to understand what is the separation strategy.
Yeah.
Can be different variations in there. And by understanding the strategy, you can also draw the plan of separating the company and preparing it for due diligence, which is actually the next step.
All right. Thank you so much, Ludwig. And are you looking to acquire some new skills, some new capabilities, some technology, or do you have a compliance issue that you need help with? Please reach out to Ludwig or any of our colleagues to help you out in your ITMMNA related question. We're happy to help you. Thank you, and until next time.